continue to put the spotlight on women who keep on breaking barriers in their field. Let's hear the story of cosmetic surgeon and businesswoman Doctor Vicki Belo. She joins us now live on The Final Word. Hi, Vicki. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
So nice to see you. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
So, Vicki, tell us, what motivated you to find success and establish an empire from making people beautiful?
You know, it's a very personal story, Rico. It's all about my being bullied as a child because I was adopted by the Belos. And I think when my classmates in kindergarten asked their parents what adopted meant, they were told that the parents gave the children of their child away to be raised by someone else. And they couldn't understand the thing. So they would ask me, why did your parents give you away? And then my other classmates would say, oh, because she's so ugly. And the other classmate would say, oh, because she's so fat. And I was only 5 years old. And as a young 5-year-old, of course, that really got imprinted in my mind. And what I understood from that is that if you're ugly and if you're fat, nobody loves you, they give you away. So at 5 years old, I really decided that I would spend the rest of my life making everybody beautiful so that they would be loved and not given away. Luckily for me, when I was 11 years old, I really had bad skin. I had so much acne on my face, cystic acne. And so that became another thing that I do, that I go to clinics, dermatologist office every week. And really, it was never cured. It just kept coming back for years and years. And it was in those hours that I sat in the dermatologist's office waiting for my turn to be cleaned and, punctured my pimples and given medicines that I planned my clinic. I decided that I didn't want to wait because I would spend 2 hours waiting.
Yes.
So I planned a clinic where it would be by appointment. I planned clinics that would be beautiful because it's about beauty. Anyway, that's how I decided I would make people beautiful.
Such an inspiring story, Vicki. But as an empowered woman, how are you empowering your women employees in the business?
So in our clinic, we have about 550 employees. I would say about 85% are women. And it's not me empowering them. They're just amazing already to begin with, because these are women that earn, a living sometimes more than their husbands. And yet they're very wonderful moms and wonderful wives. So, I really don't get this whole thing about, I think women in the Philippines are so empowered, really, and they know where they stand. It's a matriarchal society. I've never felt any barriers. I think in opening a beauty clinic, in fact, it's hard to open a clinic if you're a man. It's more common that most dermatologists are women. I think 90% of dermatologists are women, unlike abroad where it's 50-50. And, I've never felt a glass ceiling. I just decided to follow. I think what I did was different is I really looked forward. I was in the cost 1990 when we opened our first clinic 31 years ago. It was a pivotal moment in dermatology where we suddenly became surgeons. We started doing lasers, we started doing hair transplants, liposuction. So it was a brand new horizon. Prior to that, most doctors were clinicians.
Yes.
And I embraced it, and that's where, I think when you're passionate and you love what you do and you're always trying to improve. I also have this, Rico, I know you've lived abroad, so I'm sure you can understand when I studied abroad how nationalistic I became, because many people look at the Philippines and actually ask me if we used to live on trees and stuff like that. So it is very important for me to make a mark in the world, and for the Philippines, really, that we are also first world when it comes to cosmetic surgery and beautification. And that really pushed me to buy only the best machines and really know my craft well and send papers so that they would be amazed that Asians are good, that Filipinos are good. And
we are a cut above the rest. We are indeed a cut above the rest, Vicki. But if there's one thing you would tell your daughter, Scarlett Snow, about women empowerment, what would that be?
I would say to her that we are already doing it right now. We believe that Scarlett was born to be a leader. We are amazed at her life and how she's become so popular. Hayden especially is very intentional in the way we bring her up. Of course, we're Christians, so we feel like if we have been blessed to have someone who might become a leader one day, that she has to have the proper values, so she can help our country. In fact, for school today, I don't know, we sang mga kababayan ko. She introduces herself as I'm Filipino. This is my song. I'm very proud to be Filipino. And she starts singing about a wonderful, in a rap manner because it would be more fun. But there are no limits for her. We've never said you can't do this or that because you're a girl. Maybe she's not a girly girl because we do let her run and we let her play sports and we let her swim
Yes,
and
yes.
everything. So, I really we're going to bring her up saying she can contribute to the country, she can help people, and she should have the right values. And really, I feel
Yes.
women and men are equal, just strong in different ways.
And
We
she,
will, yeah, the only
and she's
thing
only
is
6 years old. And she's only 6 years old. Scarlett Snow's only 6 years old.
it's never too early to give people the right values. If you don't do it now, it'll be too late when they're bigger.
So Vicky,
So-
tell us, who are your role models? Who are the 3 women, local or international, that inspire you the most?
I don't really have, well, my mother for sure, my Belo mom, and it's not, it's both my parents. I don't really have an idol that was a woman that I really look up to. Everybody, I look up with certain people in certain aspects of their lives, like, if they're a good businesswoman. For example, Alice Eduardo would come to mind as somebody who is a very good businesswoman but has a heart of gold and helps other people. And then I have Verna Puyat, who I admire because she's relentless in her passion to really bring the Philippines to tourism and people. These are heroes that I meet along the way. And I try to pick, what's good about them and try to emulate what they do. But my mother and my father, Bello, are really my models. They brought me up with so much love, so much encouragement. They made me believe I could fly, I could do anything. And that's, I think, where I'm coming from. So I don't understand, failure. Everything, when I fail, I always think, what am I supposed to learn in this? There's a lesson here. And I apply it for the next step. So, there's always a reason for everything.
Vicky, you are the epitome of women empowerment, and it shows that Filipino women are strong, courageous, and are not afraid to draw strength from one another and empower each other. Vicki Belo, cosmetic surgeon and businesswoman, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.